Today I'm going to talk about learning beamforming in ultrasound imaging. Well, although this work focuses mostly on ultrasound, it is also applicable for other modalities. So in ultrasound imaging, we use a piezoelectric probe that functions both as a transmitter and a receiver. And in transmit mode, in TX, it sends acoustic waves into the medium. And in receive mode, or RX, it waits for the echoes to come back from the tissue. We can also focus this acoustic beam in a process we call beamforming, in which we add phases to the elements of the transducer, to the signals coming from the elements of the transducer. And this way we create constructive interference in the focus area, or as you can see in the video, in the red, in the red area. In standard ultrasound acquisition, we scan the imaged region with a set of focused RX, TX RX lines. And this means that our frame rate is bounded by the speed of sound in the tissue or by the number of TX events. So if we want to increase frame rate, we need to reduce number of TX events, and this comes on the expense of the image quality. Over the years, there were many efforts to come up with a good fast acquisition scheme. If by transmitting wider beams or by transmitting multiple beams simultaneously. All of this method, of course, suffer from artifacts and reduced image quality. With the recent revival of neural nets, of deep learning, there were also recent works, trying to tackle these artifacts, mostly concentrating on the RX or the reconstruction part, including our own work, in which we trained a CNN, an encoder-decoder CNN, on pairs of low quality reduced TX signals and their corresponding higher quality full measurement signal. Our current work, however, focuses also on the TX part. We try to learn how to acquire what TX patterns to transmit. And in order to do that, we had to have a simulator that, given a TX pattern, it simulates the received signal. And of course, this simulator had to be differentiable. So lucky for us, in ultrasound imaging, in first harmonic mode, which is linear in its nature, we could emulate new TX patterns by just combining RX signals. And this is actually what we did. We learned these combinations. Now, in order to make this flow complete, we also incorporated the dynamic focusing, which is the focusing part in the RX, the phase adding in the RX. And it is just a geometrical transformation, and we incorporated it as a spatial transformer layer. So since training forward and inverse model together is a challenging task, we first trained only the RX part, the reconstruction part, and fixed the TX. And at some point, we also started training the TX. And here you can see the gap between the validation error of the two schemes in favor of the joint TX RX training. And this is for 3 different decimation rates. So here are some results. It's hard to see on the monitor and the screens, but believe me when I say that the visual results are better, but much more important, also the numerical results are better for the joint training of TX and RX compared to the other alternatives. And what's more interesting to see, if you can see on the bottom, is the learned patterns, the learned TX patterns, initialized with the MLA scheme with wide focus beams. It converges towards something more focused. So the take-home message from this talk is that this work, as a proof of concept, shows a great potential of learning acquisition and reconstruction together. It is, of course, also applicable for other modalities, and it raises many other research challenges, such as a better optimization scheme, tackling the situation in which we don't have a differentiable emulation or simulation scheme, and of course, implementing it onto a real machine. That's it, thanks.